So Jen periodically kept track of the cost of a product to the sales in millions over an 8-month period, which equation is the best model for sales S as a function of cost in dollars D. So in this scatter plot, you can clearly see every single coordinate. You could put it in a table and get the best line of fit because the computer always gives you the best one. And then you can go to whichever one is closest to that. However, that's not necessarily going to be the case on the test tomorrow. Like, not all scatter plots are easy to see every single data point. So, I mean, when in doubt, you could do that and just, it should still be relatively close. Otherwise, I know like on this question on your test and on the constructed response part, I think it'd be better if you did it like by hand. Okay, so in order to have the best line of fit, where should the line be drawn in relation to all the data? All right, the line of best fit goes where compared to all the data? Through the middle of your data where the points seem to be clustered around it. And it's hard for me to make a straight line on this. Let me do it on the touch screen, which is won't be seen on the video. But through the middle where it looks like it's the points are clustered around it. Does it have to touch every single data point? No, sometimes it doesn't touch any of them, but it just has to be drawn through the middle where the points seem to be clustered around it. Then, in order to estimate it, you need to pick 2 points from the line and then estimate the slope that way. So they don't have to be data points, but what is somewhere on the line that you can clearly see? I know my line's not going to be straight. I'm going to try again, but I like this part is really straight. Okay, so where on the line can you see really clearly and not have to estimate a whole lot? Okay, 7-3. I agree, and it happens to be a data point, but it doesn't have to be. Where else is really easy to see on the line that I don't have to estimate a lot? Okay, so that happens to, I mean, if the way I drew it, it looks like it's a little underneath, but it's probably close enough. Like if I draw my line a little bit the other way, it'll probably be close enough. But let's see if there's like a better one on here. Okay, I agree. 5.5, 5, based on the line that I drew, looks like it's going right through the middle, like here, on that grid. And again, it doesn't have to be a data point. It just has to be from the line of best fit. I know you can't draw on your computer screen, but tomorrow when you take the test, because they're going to be on paper, you can take one of the papers, line it up to where it makes a nice straight line, and then draw your line through the middle of your data. All right, but once you get the 2 points, you're going to use this formula for slope. Do you guys remember what it is? So that's slope intercept form. What if I just want to figure out what the M is? If I just want to figure out the slope, I should use what formula? So this is something you would need to know tomorrow. Like, I'm not providing you this tomorrow. You have to commit it to memory. How can you find slope? So that's slope intercept form. What if I just want to find the M, the slope? When I'm trying to find the slope between 2 points, it's better to use this formula. So rise over run can work. But when it's 2 points, I recommend this one, which is still like, it's still the same. I just don't recommend rise over run when it's 2 points, or because sometimes like the graphs don't go up consistently. But whatever you need to estimate the slope. So when you have 2 points, like what we just identified, make one of them x1, y1, the other one x2, y2, and then you plug it into the formula. So the way that I labeled it, my y2 is 3, my y1 is 5, so that's what's gonna go on top. What's my x2? What did I label as x2? 7. What did I label as x1? 5.5. So then you use this formula to estimate your slope. So it's 3 minus 5. And then 7 minus 5.5. 1.5. And then you need to divide that so that you get a decimal, so that all your slopes right now are in decimal form. And I get a negative 1.3. So this is my slope. All of these are in slope intercept form, your answer options. And you have to remember slope is always in front of the variable. So you should have probably a few that have similar slopes. So which answer options have similar slopes? Can you like read them to me? Because my screen's frozen, I can't slow down. Which for this question have a slope that's similar to negative 1.3.
S equals negative 1.1. B plus 10.1.
Okay, are any other slopes similar to negative 1.3?
S equals 1.0.
No negative or anything?
Oh, yeah, no, that's negative.
Okay, any other ones that have slopes comparable to the slope we just estimated?
Would negative 1.9?
I would still probably look at it just because when you're estimating.
There's plus 6.
And then the other slope that is in the other answer option is like -3, right?
Yeah.
So that's like a little bit too much off. I mean, granted, they're all pretty close to each other. But if we're picking the best one, it's probably gonna be one of these. Now for which one, you also have to look at your y-intercept. So if you look at your graph, you can't see where it would touch exactly, but you kind of have an idea. Which of these answers can it not be?
The first one, or 1.9.
Okay, and why not?
Because the y-intercept is only 1.6.
So the y-intercept is definitely gonna be more than 6, it does not go here, so we're not gonna pick this one. Even though the slope is kind of close, the y-intercept's off. Now between these two, which is the best one?
1.1 plus 1.1, or negative 1.1 plus 2.
Okay, good, what's the y-intercept if there's no like single number there?
0.
And that's definitely not going through 0, right? So you gotta pick the one that has a y-intercept and a slope that's comparable, like both at the same time. One of them can't be too far off. Does that make sense? Okay. So and this one is the A on my screen, but it's probably shuffled on your screen. All right. Other questions from any part of the study guide? Or any of the 3? We all understand the constructive response, all the ones. Fine. right, I'll leave you to it then. If you got more questions, let me know. But also make sure later that you check the key for the constructive response practice test. You don't actually know that any of your answers are right. So, check that later if you can keep